I was very young when the angels came. They appeared in vessels that were pure white and armor that glowed so powerfully it looked to be made of the light itself. Everyone wept when they first laid eyes on the divine beings. Most believed that we were saved and would not want any longer. No more worrying about going hungry, struggling to find heat during the freeze, or being damned to the cold depths of hell. Surely, their arrival meant we were all saved. My father always felt differently. He believed in the old God and said the angels arriving only meant danger. He said that God wanted not only to be worshipped, but to be feared as well, and that the angels were his messengers and his warriors. I did not share his belief, so I dismissed his worrying. He said a lot of things after the angels came, most of it heretical, so I thought he was losing his mind. The angels soon proved him right. They started demanding tribute and service from our people. Most happily obliged and were rewarded for their devotion. Those that spoke out or did not give what our angels deemed adequate, my father included, disappeared shortly after the arrival. Our people quickly learned that offering the angels gifts and being completely subservient was the only way to live comfortably. It was like my father said, we feared these beings, but also saw how to easily please them, so they would not punish us. About a year after the angels arrived, the monsters started coming for us. We were told it was punishment for not properly worshipping them, and a test to see if we were worth their efforts to save us. Of course, we wanted to prove that we were worthy, so during battles we would sacrifice ourselves so that the angels wouldn't be harmed. We weren't strong enough to hurt the monsters, but we made it so the angels could fight easier. We were expendable like tails, and many sacrificed themselves without question. Some of the monsters rounded our people up and feasted upon them, some replaced parts of us with metal and made those people fight against us, while most used us as shields, believing the angels wouldn't hurt us. They were all beaten, and while we still feared the divine ones, we feared the monsters more. One thing the monsters all had in common was that the angels never feared them. They came from the sky quietly and were always beaten back within one freeze. The demons were different. They came at night and fell from the sky trailing fire and with a roar that I could not only hear but felt deep inside of me. For the first time, the angels looked scared. I ran as fast as I could, back to my family. Back to my home, where I felt safe. Back to my mother, who always made me feel loved and protected. And back to my younger sister, still a child, who I felt like I needed to protect. I got there just in time to witness the apocalypse, to witness the angels fighting the demons. I was too late to reach my family, but I was able to see the entire battle. In the skies above, the beautiful and graceful ships of our angels seemed to dance alone. Look closely enough, however, and you could see shadows even darker than the night sky dancing with them. On the ground, the demons appeared from the craters they created when they landed. They were completely unholy, standing upright on only two legs. Their appearance was shockingly similar to one of the most deadly creatures on our planet, and it triggered a fear in me that I was barely able to overcome. Their odd coloration and the way they seemed to blend into the landscape only made things worse. I galloped towards my family as fast as I possibly could. Unfortunately, I was not able to reach them before the battle grew too intense. They were trapped with the demons, and to my horror I saw my sister in the open carrying an infant. I saw a demon doing a strange and unsettling two-legged gallop towards them, and I prayed that my sister and the baby she carried would have a quick death. I did not want these demons feasting on them. Answering my prayer, I saw an angel preparing to smite them. I was not able to look away, and to my horror the demon got there before the angel was able to finish them off, and placed itself between the angel's lance and the children. It sickened me that these creatures were so bloodthirsty they would place themselves between their prey and an angel's attack. Not unsurprisingly, the demon fell to the power of the angel. Unfortunately, my sister was also struck by a divine arrow and fell to the ground. The demons launched an incomprehensible amount of cursed arrows towards the angel that tried to spare my sister and the infant, while a demon with a blood-red marking on a white background approached my sister. I looked around, and everywhere the demons were placing themselves between our people and the divine arrows, only for those stupid demons to fall, and another with the blood marking to come and retrieve our people, along with the demons who had been struck down. I felt sick, as I was sure they were going to feast on not only our people, but those injured demons as well. That feeling didn't last long, however, as I was struck by a divine arrow. I fell to the ground, and the last thing I remember was seeing one of those terrifying blood-marked demons approaching me. I awoke with a start. Terrified, I thought the demons preferred to feast on the flesh of people who knew what was happening. Luckily for me, my sister was there to calm me before I expired from pure terror. When I got the chance to look around, I saw creatures that looked like the demons, but were much smaller and were wearing green-colored robes, some with white coats to go over it. I also saw some demons with that same blood marking, but without the size or the coloration I saw during the battle. They seemed to be stopping other demons and our people from bleeding, and sending some onto the demons with the white robes. My sister claimed that they saved her. I eventually worked up the courage to ask one of the demons why they were doing this. Why did they come here? Why were they helping the injured? What are they? And most importantly, why would they put themselves between danger and people like my sister? I didn't think it would understand me, but these were questions I had to ask. To my surprise, the demon smiled, a gesture that meant the same thing to them as it did to us. I would learn, and said, "We are humans, we came because this is where our enemy was. We are helping you because you are caught in the middle. This is not your fight, and you don't deserve to suffer." After it said this, the demon paused and looked at another one of its kind being carried on a board with a hole in its stomach. It bowed its head and slumped what I assumed were its shoulders, and managed to almost make itself look small for a moment. After the injured demon passed, the blood-marked one focused back on me and spoke. "I know that your kind calls us demons. We have a similar concept, honestly. We're the good guys though. Tell me, how important is family to your people?" "It is very important, even if I essentially shunned my father after he spoke ill of the angels," I said, not sure of why I shared such personal information. "How can you possibly think of yourselves as good, though?" "Family is important to us too, and I'm sorry to hear about you and your father," the creature said. "I know that we're the good guys because of a saying my father always loved actually." "Well, what is the saying?" I said unnecessarily venomously. "Spit it out." "My old man always loved to say that the easiest way to tell the good guys from the bad is that the bad guys use meat shields while the good guys make themselves shields." Before my father was taken, he told me that one man's angel is another man's demon. I didn't understand it then, and thought it was heresy. However, what we thought were demons were nothing more than people like us. After they won, we tried to worship them, afraid of what would happen if we didn't. But they refused, and instead treated us like equals, even though we obviously were not. I also learned that our angels were nothing more than people who preyed upon those less fortunate and more naive. I understand now, and I will always strive to be like the demons I once feared. Author's note: I tried to make it as my own story as possible, but it was pointed out that it is similar to another story. The angels and demons aspect was inspired by the story Angels and Demons, Surprise, by Level 25 Human Nerd. It's a great story if you haven't read it. I should have credited it right away, and maybe even marked it PI. I'm not sure about that, because it is an important part of the story. I just didn't think about it. Author's name and link to original text is in the description.